Well, ain't this really confusing? No, your screen isn't upside down. These guys are actually just very far off the ground. Their gravity is at -1. This guy is called Schlongor, and this guy is a Pokemon. I'm on the latest snapshot, 24W40A. This snapshot introduces the winter drop for the Pale Garden biome and the Creaking mob. So this is gonna be all that this update will be during winter, probably before Christmas. This update is fairly accurately represented by Minecraft Live. We have the new blocks here. We've got the Pale Oak log, we have the Creaking heart, and another Pale Oak log. Okay, but all the way down here, we have a Pale Garden. The garden is more of a cemetery context than a regular garden because, as you can see, this is a dark oak forest retextured in some way. The structure of the trees are very similar to dark oak forest trees. In fact, you will find one almost certainly spawning right next to a dark oak forest. The point is, you're meant to be traversing through a dark oak forest, and as you wander out, you all of a sudden find a pale version of it just adjacent to it. While they might tweak some of the textures, I don't expect them to change it too much because this is a drop. This is meant to come out by winter, so they don't have a lot of time to change things prior to the update dropping in a few months. So we have this spawning mechanism. To spawn a Creaking, you sandwich a Creaking heart in between two pale wooden blocks. They can be spawned upright, so you have to have a pale block of some sort. It can use a stripped version. I'll just use this for an example. So let's do a Creaking heart and then a stripped version. And now it lights up, which means that it will successfully spawn a Creaking mob during the night. So if I press F3, you can see right now it is dormant. It's not going to spawn anything. If I set the time to 12:540, it's still going to say dormant. 41, still dormant. 42, active. So the exact number is actually 12:542. And now a Creaking spawns on a spawnable block about 5 to 10 blocks away from the heart. Let me just patch this up. If the Creaking gets too far away, I think the wiki says 32 blocks away from the heart, it will disappear. It will despawn. It will die. It will actually like disintegrate. Let me demonstrate this for you. I'm going to build a very long platform away from the heart. You will find that the Creaking will refuse to walk away from that radius. All right, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to switch over to survival mode. The Creaking will not move. In fact, it will not even damage me. And that's because it is dormant and it's trying to look like a tree. Gonna be honest here, I don't think the crooked nature of the Creaking makes it any scarier. This is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna walk away from the Creaking and immediately the Creaking is gonna follow me. And then it's gonna slap me in the butt. Yep. You can F5 this and it's just gonna keep on following me slowly and keep whacking me in the butt. And if I am too far away from the heart, it will stop moving. If I go closer to it, it's gonna try to hit me again. It's still there, it's still active. Although I'm not really looking at it directly, I'm using F5. The way it calculates whether you're looking at it isn't by eye line, but whether it's actually on your screen. So it's more about your FOV than your eye line. If you set your FOV to a very high value, the tolerance works in your favor. You can hear it switching from one state to another through its sound effect. How do you kill it? Dude does not budge at all. You can kill it by breaking the Creaking heart over there. Or another way, use a water bucket. We will place a block over here. We will set it afloat, like so. And now, that Creaking will disintegrate the moment it's pushed outside of its range. And that's how you defeat the mob. It's super weak. It only does like 1 or 2 hearts of damage. And if you walk towards the spawn radius once again, it will bring out another one. But these guys are very easy to deal with because they don't move. There should be one around here. Oh, there's one right there. I'm gonna look away for a moment. Yeah, now it's gonna walk towards me. The reason I have these name tags out and the anvil is because I've been trying to name tag them. They don't really offer much persistence. Yark. The problem is they still despawn in the daytime, regardless of whether they have a name tag. You can hit this guy, you know the Creaking heart is over there. I'm not gonna deal with that. Literally what I'm gonna do is just dig a hole and he's gonna be trapped there forever. 1 second. He's gonna try to get out, but he can't because he can't teleport. So he's no longer a threat. The on-screen mechanic is also determined by what blocks are obstructing. So if I stand behind this tree, he turns around.
Huh?
One thing worth pointing out is that if you're wearing a carved pumpkin on your head and you face a Creaking, they will walk towards you as if you are not looking at them. That explains why they switched over that mechanic for carved pumpkins to no longer show yourself on a map. This is a very easy way to examine their behaviors without being threatened too much because you're looking at them, you can see exactly what they're doing. They actually do walk kind of quickly. It's surprising how fast they are. When I do this and I make them really, really small, look at them. They are speedy. They're so small. But I'm still threatened by them. All right, let's set the time today. The pile of dust. I mean ash. Oh yeah, they don't drop anything. So you have instances where several may spawn, and you can see a puff of smoke as they spawn as well. So you've got one here, you've got one that I'm looking directly at, and then one on the right side. And so in this situation, they all start walking towards me. All three of them. They didn't do a lot of damage, but in conjunction with hostiles that spawn, it can get very annoying. And so what do you want to do now? Well, you can just dig a hole. So 2 blocks is more than enough, and now these guys are all neutralized. Yeah, just don't get too close. They can still hit you. All right, so where is it? There it is. That takes care of one of them, and there's one over here. Nice. With Silk Touch, you can grab it, otherwise it will not drop. Then you can go back to wherever you want to go and spawn another one. There it is. One thing that's fairly interesting though about this block itself is that it is technically a daylight sensor and an improved version of it too. The only annoying thing is that you will be spawning these guys every single time, but this block does not require exposure to the sun. If you set the time to day, it triggers because this block state is now dormant, and then if you set it to 13,000 nighttime, that's another one because okay, that's the only drawback, but this can be used underground rather safely. Pale Garden biome, Creaking mob. I'm sure there'll be more to it eventually. It's still a few months before it's released. Like, I'm still trying to figure out certain things. For example, if you spawn a Creaking without a heart, he's gonna live in the sun, but he's not linked to this heart block. So this guy's just gonna die in one hit. But one thing's for certain, they make fantastic volleyballs.